Hello there! Once again, it's Anton from Antonio Bay. Thank you for stopping by the collection room. Today we're taking a look at Alpha Flight 101 through 104. We've gone through the entire series so far, and if you enjoy it so far, please hit the like and subscribe button. That always helps motivate me to make videos. We've already done issues all the way up to 100, and it's been up and down. Some of them were, you know, great art, terrible story. Some of them were terrible story, terrible art. And some of them were reasonable art, reasonable story. I don't know that I've ever hit any phase where I would have said, oh my gosh, this is such a great book. Because it's constantly littered with hack writing or bored writers or no oversight, or it's just got problems all the way through it. However, it is one of those odd beloved series that I've always been a big fan of, even though it's admittedly not very good. It's just always been that way. And right now, this is not my favorite art that I have seen in this. Point of reference though, this is October 1st, 1991. That's how long ago this series ran and how long it ran. It ran 130 issues in its original run. And we've covered all of them up to now so far on this channel. Now, I probably won't ever get into the second series of Alpha Flight because I don't have it, and I don't really care. Like, I wasn't interested. I liked the original set. I liked Canada back in the 80s and 90s, and you know, that's pretty much it. Couldn't imagine an Alpha Flight book now. That just sounds even more painful than an old one. Especially with as tied in as Alpha Flight usually has to be with the government of Canada. It would be a mess at this point. Art is growing on me a little bit. It's picking up a bit, but still, I'm not wild about it. One of Alpha Flight's greatest enemies usually tends to be not just the writers, but Alpha Flight themselves. They spend more time infighting than most groups. And just, I don't know, fighting their own government, fighting their right to exist as a team. And they do all of that more than they do fighting actual good villains. And then they have this terrible habit of anytime a good villain does show up, so does the Fantastic Four or the Avengers to help them defeat it. And it's like, why can't you guys get a decent push? Was Vince McMahon writing this? He just ruins it. That is weird. Don't we all? Enough. Scott Lobdell, writer. Tom Morrigan, pencils. Scott Lobdell, if I remember right, he was one of my more favorite writers back in the 90s. Now, I don't remember this particular... The art looked way better in this, too. But I don't remember what the particular happenings with Alpha Flight was at this point. Normally they're like, I can kind of remember where they're at, but I'm hazier on the 100 through 130 issues just because I haven't read them near as much. I'm even struggling to Diablo, the Master Alchemist. I don't know why everybody's wearing black suits. That looks lame. Oh, I doubt it's Captain America. It's probably U.S. Agent. Ugh, see, we get so much interference from like U.S. Agent. For some reason, if it's gonna appear in an Alpha Flight comic, it's almost never Captain America. We always get the U.S. Agent, and he's always crappy. This is one I've seen a lot of copies of for some reason. Is 103 here. I see this issue floating around a lot of places. It's got good art in it. Lobdell, Morgan, Ivy, Chang. I'm fairly ignorant on Diablo. I can't remember what his powers are or what his deal is. And it's been a long time since I read these. That makes you a terrorist. The United Nations voted to not get involved in the affairs of Terra del Mayas. That makes you a terrorist in my book. What book is that? Mein Kampf. I don't know. Everybody always tries to make U.S. Agent like, okay, he sucks. Don't get me wrong, but they do try to make him like as bad as possible at all times, it seems. I mean, I'm sure there's some book where he's relatively likable, isn't there? Maybe not. Not that Alpha Flight itself is... They do struggle to find likable characters. I think the only likable character in Alpha Flight is Heather. And, well, Puck is likable. Yeah, Walter Langowski, he's completely unlikable. North Star and Aurora are awful. Mac is like totally nonplus. Heather is likable. Puck is likable. Madison Jeffries is okay. But all their other side characters are pretty awful. Mannequin is terrible. I do like Diamond Lil though. She has some personality to her. It's got some pizzazz. What is the Joker doing in here? Why is he promoting an X-Men card? That's odd. Oh dear. Is he pulling out her brains? Oh. And of course they had to paint it black. So now we're messing with Aurora's delicate psyche. And it's January 1992. Nice. Art is looking good. Have we still got Lobdell on this thing? Not sure who's writing it at this point. Guardian. Babysitter is more like... Yeah, because they basically just fight each other all the time. It is fairly pathetic. They are the worst team probably ever, as far as teamwork teams go. Who is this guy? Evil nuns. Yeah, I remember Aurora was raised by nuns who oppressed her by trying to make her stop being a whore. It was really awful. North Star in his long hair phase. Yeah, I would say Alpha Flight never did back down off some of the creepier psychological aspects of stuff. They did get into that often. A lot of their villains are just super psychological nutcases, and well, Jeannie Marie is taking it back. She's gonna beat the anorexic Lobo and destroy him, because that is exactly what he looks like. Anorexic Lobo. And oh my gosh, I love this outfit. They finally get into their best uniforms ever. Core Alpha. Maybe they can get kind of back on track, since we've kind of derailed over the last 10 issues or so. Anyway, Anorexic Lobo aside, that's issues 101 through 104. It's plugging away. I wish I could remember more about this era. I remember a lot more about the earlier issues and the really like the difficult to get through 60s and 70s issues, but yeah, I don't recall much after issue 100. And I know I've had them all multiple times and I've read them multiple times, but it has been a great many years, so it is hard to keep up with some of these things and remember it. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. Once again, hit the like and subscribe. We'll go through more Alpha Flights and probably some much better comics than this as well. But I appreciate your views. Thank you.